Thank you, Mario, and thank you, distinguished colleagues. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today, and I applaud the states involved, and in particular, the government of Colombia and Netherlands in particular. Public Services International represents 30 million public service workers in 150 countries, the public service workers on the front line fighting the effects of climate change. Our members also find themselves at the sharp edge of trade policy that's failed working class people everywhere, and most of all in the global south. This blind focus on so-called investor rights has prevented governments from performing the core duty of any state, to care for its people. And it's clear that this now includes ISDS blocking humanity from undertaking the urgent action of holding back climate chaos. Quality public services, which are publicly planned, publicly delivered, publicly funded, and democratically accountable, are essential for climate justice. They're essential for creating a sufficiently ambitious transition, to build resilience to climate impacts in a way that reduces inequalities, and at the same time ensures that workers' rights are protected. ISDS is a disaster for the climate for the same reasons it's a disaster for public services. It exposes states to the threat, as well as the reality, of costly litigation, and thus works as a chilling effect on action. Action that would control multinational profit extraction from our healthcare systems. We see this in examples such as the Keralty case in Colombia, and many actions that stop the world's biggest polluters from further exploiting our environment for their own gain. ISDS gifts corporations protections that are not afforded to workers. It gifts them protections that are not afforded to our communities, and they are not afforded to the planet. PSI has led the global trade unions in the campaign to roll back ISDS, the European Union withdrawal from the Energy Charter Treaty, the 2024 referendum in Ecuador that safeguarded the constitutional ban on ISDS, and in my home country, Australia, where unions have won parliamentary backing for ISDS to be excluded from all future trade deals. And so while we're seeing national action turning the tide, we also need a global push. Corporate power organises across borders. We know this. And so therefore, we must also. Corporations use large, developed trading nations to threaten and bully smaller nations from taking sensible protective action. So only collectively can we shield ourselves from these consequences and ensure democratic and sovereign actions are respected. States must have a secure pathway to withdraw from the ISDS system. This working group is important. It can and must consolidate an international legal framework that places human rights, environmental protection, workers' rights, and democratic sovereignty above the interest of investors. PSI, together with our 650 affiliates, are honoured to participate in the first conference in transitioning away from fossil fuels in Santa Marta, and we look forward to the same level of engagement and participation in this working group. The outcomes of the Santa Marta conference have created important and probably groundbreaking momentum on the international stage. Public service workers stand with you and will continue to stand with you so that we can turn that momentum into action. Thank you for this opportunity. You can count on our support wherever public service workers do their work.